Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, as fighting continues in the Middle East, we're seeing increasing gas prices here in the U.S. John Decker has more from the White House on the impacts that we are seeing from the conflict just days into it.
The Strait of Hormuz is the world's most critical oil choke point. Before the war with Iran, 20% of the world's oil was transported through the strait every day. Now that output is down to zero. If you want to know why gas prices are higher, look no further than the Strait of Hormuz. The strait has been essentially shut down since the weekend, as oil companies have decided to play it safe and stop transporting oil through this critical waterway. On Wednesday, I asked White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about when the strait can once again be safe to use. The timeline for making the Strait of Hormuz safe for oil tankers to transport their oil through the strait, what is that timeline and what can the president do to speed up that timeline?
I don't want to commit to a timeline, but certainly it's something that is being calculated actively by both the Department of War and the Department of Energy. They're working very closely. Both secretaries are in all of the briefings on this subject with the president, and this is, again, something they're monitoring, and if and when necessary, the United States Navy will provide assistance to escort oil tankers through the strait.
The impact of the war is already being felt here in the U.S. AAA says that the average price of a gallon of gas has surged by 22 cents since Saturday. And as long as the Strait of Hormuz remains unsafe, it's unlikely that the price of gas will be coming down anytime soon. At the White House, I'm John Decker.
Well, thank you, John, for that report. We also want to turn our attention to a prescribed burn that is going to be happening in the Croatan National Forest. That's going to be happening again this week. Now, the burns aim to reduce overgrown vegetation and help protect infrastructure, habitats, and natural resources from wildfires. Now, depending on the weather, fire officials hope to continue this work over the next few weeks. Warning signs will be in place near burning sites with closures set for nearby roads. Those will be reopened when the officials deem the area is safe. Now, notifications for prescribed burning will be posted on the National Forest Facebook page on the day of the fire. You can follow a link on our website to that page at WITN.com. And now for a look at your weather forecast. Again, looking at some broken clouds, but certainly plenty of them over skies in Grifton. Here is a look at what we are seeing right now in southern Pitt County. 75-degree air temperature comes with a southwesterly wind at about 14 miles per hour. Air temperatures today significantly warmer than what we normally see this time of year. Usually we'd anticipate afternoon temps in the low 60s. Well, here we are in the mid to upper 50s. It's toasty, and it's going to remain toasty. Not looking at any sort of a loss of heat over the past 24 hours, and over the next several days, we're going to gain a little bit more heat. Southwesterly winds, big reason why. Right now, we've got wind speeds generally at around 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout most of the area. And as we make our way through the rest of the afternoon, air temperatures not going to come down until we get to around 6, 7 o'clock at night. So what does that mean for our overnight temps? By 11, we're looking at the upper 60s. By morning tomorrow, low 60s. And that marks our average high temperature for this time of year. We're going to be getting it right out of the gate at 7 a.m., 61 degrees. By 8, we'll be at 63, 66 by 9, 69 by 10, 72. By the time we reach 11, 75 by lunchtime, and then we are into the upper 70s as we make our way into the afternoon, with a few areas again bumping up to around 80 degrees between 3 and 4 p.m. Now, there will be plenty of sunshine out there, but the fact that the cold fronts that should be giving us a little bit of some cooler air will remain north of eastern North Carolina. So long as those cold fronts don't make it into the region, we're going to have a tough time cooling down. Here's a look at your full 8-day forecast, and you will note that air temperatures holding in the upper 70s to low 80s through this weekend and into next week. Yeah, Monday comes down to 76 degrees, but you got to remember that's still about 15 degrees above our seasonal average, and that's with the introduction of a weak cold front. Now, that front is not going to completely pass through eastern North Carolina, but it will again sink its way south into the area enough to give us a pretty good chance of some scattered showers and some thunderstorms on both Sunday as well as Monday. We'll have more rain showing up on the following Thursday, but for now, the rest of today, tomorrow, and Saturday looking mostly sunny and mostly dry. That's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Thursday.